Here we go. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Rick's free Friday coaching call. Obviously, I'm not Rick. Rick's away in Nashville, Tennessee this week at the Joe Dispenza event. I don't actually think I've spoken to him once this week. It feels very strange, other than just text messages, but they are having a great time as far as I can tell. I am very excited about today. I have a guest speaker on today, someone who's a really, really good friend of mine. I haven't seen him in a hot minute, but I used to be office mates with him, and there used to be a period of time where I saw him every day, and I really do miss those days way up in New York. We became fast friends, and I've never seen anyone or met anyone who was so unafraid of the phone. Okay, so and he's gonna, like, I saw him just raise his eyebrows. He built a business, guys, a good business. It started out in Chicago, right, Aaron?
Mm-hmm.
Started out in Chicago, and for those of you that don't know anything about Aaron, he was a comedian. And he's pretty funny. He's pretty funny. Got into real estate, built his business by calling expireds and FSBOs, and then moved to New York and had to build the business there, doing the same thing. And then just recently moved to Florida and is now having to rebuild it again. Third time, right? So yeah, I know, because he's crazy. No, because New York's still under moratorium for cold calling, right? Can you?
Yeah, New York just.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, New York has been on moratorium since COVID. No cold calling at all. No circle prospecting, no FSBOs, no expireds, nothing. Okay, so during that time, when you run your business by making those calls, what do? Right? So he picked up and moved his family to Florida. He's doing it all over again. So I invited him here today to talk to us a little bit more about mindset, what that looks like, and the ways that he holds himself accountable every day. So without further ado, Mr. Aaron Wittenstein.
Do you guys realize you're in the presence of greatness, right? Like, you guys realize that. Not me at all. Selena is the presence of greatness. So just realize who you guys get to associate. And I mean that in a serious way. I've met a lot of people in real estate over the last like 30 years, and she's like a top 17 favorite person going forward. Maybe even a top 16, depending on the day. Okay. So thank you for the warm welcome. It's a pleasure. I'm very happy you invited me to come hang out with you guys. Thank you. Thank you very much, Selena.
You betcha.
Heck
So
yeah.
Aaron, I kind of wanted to start with, what was it that drew you to calling expireds and FSBOs in the first place when you started in real estate?
Okay, so by the way, this is a lot easier if everybody unmutes their face. Please show you. We're going to do interactive stuff here. So show your face, because if I don't see you, I don't care what you're wearing, having a bad hair day, a no hair day. If you're wearing your Sunday worst, I really don't care. So show your face. All right. So basically, you may not know this, but when I was in Chicago, actually, I worked buyers, 100% buyers for the first 10 years that I worked in Chicago. And the last year that I worked there, basically we lived in the city and I worked in the suburbs. And we had our son Lucas, who was he was a baby at that point, so we had a nanny. So the last year I worked there, basically what would happen is to drive from the city to suburbs, 25 minutes, unless you hit traffic. Traffic hit anywhere between early to 8 or after 3. So if I didn't get in by 8 or out by 3, I would basically be in deep trouble. So that year I sold 37 buyers, working between the hours of basically 8 and 4 and on Saturdays. So I know how it is to work buyers. All right. And then when I moved to New York is a challenging place to do business. The way they do business is just backwards, is the best way to put it. First buyer, I put in contract. I closed 6 months to the day that I moved there. And I was at an office meeting. This was in late October, early November of 2013. So my 10-year expired anniversary is actually coming up this year. And Dave Jenks, the late Dave Jenks, good man, co-wrote the Red Book. For those of you guys who don't know, that's KW. And he was speaking at our office, and he mentioned a gentleman, I believe is an ERA agent by the name of, oh my gosh, what the heck's his name? It'll come to me eventually. It'll come back to me eventually. And he's like, I work listings. That's all I work. And my wife works buyers. So I'm like, that'd be pretty cool to do it. You know what I mean? To start just working on the listing side. And then I got connected to a guy who's, I don't know what company he's with anymore. He's in South Carolina, who introduced me to Vulcan 7. So I started cold calling November of 2013, and then I called November of 13, December of 14, January I'm sorry, 13, 13, 14, 3 months, whatever the heck that is. And I guess how many listings I took, Mallory, within those first 3 months? Take a wild guess. 3 months, working 6 to 8 hours a day of prospecting. No, no, no.
30.
Boom, the big zero. But I had faith for some crazy reason that this was the right thing to do. February of 14, I took 8 listings, all expired. Still the best expired listing month I've had in my career was 8 listings. And keep in mind, in New York, that's 500 to 600,000, which is California, Carmel. That's like, like $10 billion in real estate. But for me, it was like $4 to $5 million. And I've never seen success like that before. And then every year, like I said, I would lead generate 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, and we can get in a little bit more. But that's kind of how I got started on the expireds, predominantly expireds. I work a little bit in the FSBO area now, but that's how I got started.
Okay. And now I've seen you on the phone.
Mhm.
I've seen days where you were like, I'm all in and I'm going to pick up this phone and I'm going to kill it.
Mhm.
And I've seen you call and call and call and not get one appointment.
Mhm.
And then I've seen you call and get them right away.
Mhm.
Tell me what it is about, because I know, and I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Like, you track it.
Mhm.
You track it.
Mhm.
And, I tell your story all the time over all these years. And like, you're one of the only people I know that knew how many no's it took to get to a yes. Like, you had tracked it so well that you would just, like, when you got to that point of being on the phone and you were like, "Oh, it's like no after no after no after no." What was it that gets you through that? Like, what part of your mindset that is making you say, oh, look at Mallory. Did he say he'd lead gens for 3 hours a day? Why, yes, Mallory, he did. Aaron, you can speak on that a little bit more.
Okay, so I'll share Florida, for example, okay? I moved to a brand new market. Market's a lot different than 13. There's a lot more competition. Within my block, there's 3 realtors, okay? So like, it's insane, the competition. But it's not good competition. I excuse anybody who's in Florida right now, but the competition is mainly just bad, all right? And what'll happen is they'll pick up the phone, they'll make phone calls, they'll sound like an idiot, okay? And it makes me look bad when I see what I'm doing. So it's been a challenge. I have exactly time start, time end, contacts, leads, appointments, all in an Excel spreadsheet, okay? And I've been tracking that since I started here early December, and it's not been easy whatsoever. I'll tell you guys a quick. You guys want to hear a story? You want to hear what happened on Wednesday? You guys want to hear what happened on Wednesday? Okay, this Wednesday sucked, by the way. Okay, it was going. Wednesday was going good. I'm like, all right. So I got this one lady. She's hot. We're supposed to meet on Wednesday. I call her up. She's like, oh, I call. I'm sorry. This was for Wednesday that I called on Monday. If that makes any sense, what I just said. And I call her up 2 days before. Just want to make sure. Oh, I just listed with a realtor, and I look and it was on for 22 hours. I'm like, mother, that hurts. The next guy that I call, I'm like, all right, I look forward to meeting on Wednesday. Just want to confirm. He's like, oh, no, I got someone coming to list today. And I'm like, excuse me, we do have an appointment set for Wednesday. What happened? He's like, well, I'm listing my house. I'm listing my fiance's house, and we're buying $1 million property. I was like, no. And you just can't say anything. So I picked up, I lead generate, and I highly suggest doing this with a group of people. All right. I lead generate on Zoom with like 10 to 15 people on a given point. I picked up my headset, yelled a few choice words, threw my headset at the camera, stormed off. I was that angry about what happened right there, because it's frustrating when you don't see the success that you need. Okay. Very frustrating. I collected myself. I walked my dog. I had a cup of coffee. I came back and I'm like, back to focus. Because what happens is, if I don't get listings, I don't feed my family. It's that simple. I have enough money, so I have enough runway, right, Selena, for the next 10 to 12 months, okay, which is fine. Yet I want to have enough runway for the next 24, 36, 48. And the beautiful part is when what do you want? I mean, we could be running around and working with with 100 buyers. I would rather work with one seller than 100 buyers at any given point, because you can predictably go in there based upon the numbers that you have and say, for every 16.5 contacts that I speak with, should have listed one appointment. I get 4 appointments a week. Two will cancel. Two will cancel. Okay. Then if I convert to 50%, that means one listing taken per week per 4 appointments set. Are you guys with me on this? Guys and girls, you with me on this? Okay. So I know that when I put in the activity, now it's just time on task is what it comes down to. I know that when I start putting in, it's going to start snowballing. I have an appointment today from an expired. I have an appointment on Saturday from an expired. I have an appointment on Monday from an expired. Okay. All within my neighborhood, not neighborhood, but like area, like 10 minutes out. I know that when it starts rolling, I should secure 40 listings this year from expireds for sale by owners. Okay. So I have no clue if that answers your question because I forgot what your question was, but I hope that makes a little bit of sense. So
It does.
okay.
What I love about that is that you know the numbers that well,
Oh.
right? Guys, he posts this on his Facebook page every day. The one that's and how many followers do you have, Aaron?
70,000.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like you want to take accountability to the highest level.
I haven't posted my number. I haven't posted my numbers today. All right, I got to do that when we get off. I totally forgot to do that. Okay. All right.
Put it out there for the world to see. Put it out there for the world. By the way, he's not the only one who posts his numbers on there. There are other people who post their numbers on there as well. Where can we find the FSBO expired contacts info? Great question. There's a lot of places you can get it. Aaron, do you want to answer the question?
I'm a Vulcan 7 guy. It's the most expensive data you can get, but you get what you pay for. I mean, you don't get that fancy hair like Selena has without using the top product in the world right there, So, you got to use the good stuff, right? So Vulcan 7, drop my name. They'll take care of you. Okay.
There are other ones as well. There's RedX, there's Mojo, there's a couple of different places you can get it, guys. They'll pull the data for you. It gives you contact information, cell phone numbers, any numbers associated with the address. Yep. I do not have perfect hair.
Perfect.
Me up today. But back to the numbers. So, and the accountability. So Aaron has had crap days, guys. I've watched him have crap days. I have watched him walk down the hallway and just be so frustrated, right? So frustrated. But I've known him and I know he's got 3 kids. He's got a set of twins too. Okay. So he knows that he has to do this. Like there's a level of accountability that's not just about what he's putting on Facebook, but exactly what he just said. It's like, I have bills to pay and kids to feed, and they only get more expensive as they get older. Okay. So when you look at that and you have a crap day, you have to figure out like, what is it going to take to get me back in that room and back on the phone? And because he knows his numbers so well, and he knows how many contacts that takes to get to an appointment, right? If you're not actually paying attention to those things and you're just willy-nilly making phone calls and just like, oh, well, yeah, it's easy to get disappointed and it's very easy to get distracted and then just give up. Because you don't know how many no's it takes to get to a yes. You have no idea. Like you're just randomly making calls. So this is why we track those things. Make a spreadsheet. It's super easy. I mean, Aaron, you've got like, I'm assuming it's just a basic spreadsheet, right?
It's a Google sheet, and I'm not a numbers person, so.
Yeah. So these are the kinds of things like that kind of mindset of like, all right, it's been a crap day. And Aaron, I watch you on Facebook. I mean, you have days where you set 0 appointments. You get up the next day and you do it again, right? Do it again. So because he's done it before, he knows what's possible where he is. Right?
And keep in mind, it's like, does anybody here raise your hand? Does anybody make calls on a regular basis? Be honest, raise your hand. And when I say regular, I'm talking like 2 to 3 hours a day, 5 days a week.
See, Anthony's raised his hand. And
Okay, good. Matt does. So for those of you that aren't, you have to realize it's like, how can I put this? It feels like I don't shower if I don't make my phone. And I'm being serious. I'm not trying to be funny. It's part of my day from 8 to 10:30, 11. I don't break very often, so I'll bail at like 10:45. From like 8 to 10:45, I'm lead generating. That's what I do right now. If I don't do it, it doesn't feel right. When I have time during the rest of the day that I haven't hit my goals, I need to hit those goals throughout the day. Right now, I think what everybody's realizing, I think Selena, you could probably agree with me on this, is if it took you 3 hours to make $1, it's taking you 5 to make 75 cents. And we have to realize that you need to put in more effort than you ever had to make that 75 cents. Is it going to be this difficult? No, not always. Board dues are coming up in Florida at the end of April. We're going to lose 10 to 15% of our people, over $500. People are going to be leaving the industry. Within the next 6 to 12, it's going to get easier. And there's record low inventory right now. Like, it is just like the perfect storm of like, what the heck's going on? All right. And it's the ones right now that are willing to work. I don't care what you do, whether you're picking up the phone, you're doing open houses, which are hard to come by nowadays. I think you gotta agree with me on that. You know, whatever that is, working your database, whatever it is you need to put in that extra time, because we'll get through, like I said, we'll get through the tight market. You know, it's just it's something by attrition. I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but
Well, I mean, you're exactly right. We've all been talking about it for a while. As most of you know, Rick and I both are master coaches for workman success, and we've talked about it. It's like, there's no secret sauce here. You just need to do more of whatever it was you were doing. So if you were door knocking, door knock more. Okay? If you were making calls, call more. If you were working your sphere of influence and that was working well for you, do it more. Like, it's not complicated. There is no secret. There's no, I'm not going to call you up and be like, this is the way. There's this new thing we just heard about. It's like, you're just going to have to give it a little more oomph. And I think I told this story, and I'm not sure if Rick did in the past, but you know, last year at the Build conference, I saw Tony Robbins for the first time ever. It was like a big deal for me. And I was like this far away from him, like I could literally see his sweat. It was pretty amazing. But he said something in the room which was so powerful. And he said, raise your hand in the room if you've only been in real estate for 2 to 3 years. And almost the entire room raised their hand. And he said, congratulations, you don't know how to do real estate.
it's true.
And I was like, oof, oof at you, oof, 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 that hurts. And he said, it has been falling in your lap. It's literally been falling in your lap for the last couple of years. For the rest of us, we've been here. We know it just means work harder, push harder. You know, we're just going to get right through it. Do more of what you were doing. Get back to the basics and do more of it. That's it. There's no secret sauce. For those of you that are new to real estate, you better learn pretty quick. Skill up. Skill up. Now, the reason I invited Aaron today is because 99% of the people I talk to in coaching don't pick up the phone. I have the lovely Mallory here. She's one of my coaching clients and also a coach with Workman Success. And this week on our coaching call with her team, you know, I hear this phrase all the time. Well, the leads are not good. They aren't quality leads. We don't have good leads, right? And I'm not picking on Mallory at all. She knows because she's also a coach. And I said, oh, that's interesting. Tell me more. How many times did we call these leads? You know, we go in the system and we can see maybe once, maybe twice. Most of the communication is email, almost all of it. And I'm like, guys, I just don't know what to say anymore. Just pick up the phone. Literally pick up the phone. Debbie Pelham, what did we say? I know, look at her hide. Nobody can hide from Selena, sorry. What if they say no is usually what I get. What is she holding up, guys? What does it say? Hold it up a little bit higher, Debbie, because we can't see it past your name. And what did I make her say? And I made her put it all over the house. But what if they say yes? And I said, put it everywhere, because she didn't want to pick up the phone, because what if they say no? What if they say no? What if they say no? What if they say yes, people? What if they're like, oh my God, I'm so glad you called me today. Yes, I absolutely do need help. But you're not even giving them the opportunity. Aaron, okay, I want you to give me an example.
I got it.
Because you disarm people. Like some of the stuff that comes out of your mouth when I would walk past your office when you were talking to people, and I'd be like walking along, and then I'd stop and I'd be like, did he just say that? Like, so could you give us an example of when you're talking to people? Let's just say it's an expired and you're trying to set that
Sure.
appointment. What's that look like?
Okay, real quick though, Debbie, can I pick on you for a second? Is
Only
that cool?
love in your heart.
It's all good. This is all good. I'm going to change your life. Okay, I'm going to change your life. All right.
That's why I'm here.
All right. How much is your average commission check?
10,000.
Okay, divided by 20 equals what?
Hold on.
It's 500.
Okay.
So are you really scared of people saying no? Is that a real fear?
This goes beyond real estate. It's more childhood deep-rooted fear of rejection.
Fair enough. Okay. Oh, can we work on this for a minute? Do you mind? Selena, can we work on this? Would you mind working on this? Because I think you'd help out a lot of people. I'm not going to go deep into childhood or anything like that. I'm going to keep it very surface and prevalent now. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So here's the thing is when we're doing real estate, all right, rejection. If someone says to you, I don't want to work with you, do you take that as rejection?
Yes, and I take it personally.
Okay, here's what I'm going to tell you. It's not rejection whatsoever. All right. Someone is just telling you no. There's a big difference between no and rejection. Okay. Let's say, for example, that you're my best friend. You're my best friend in the entire world. And we're going out for a cup of coffee. And I'm like, Debbie, I got to tell you, I'm really sick of the way you're speaking to me. I don't want to be your friend anymore. That's rejection because I know you. All right. How can you possibly be rejected by people that you don't know, have never met, and never wanted to hear from you in the first place?
I hear you.
Okay. So here's what I want to break this down to. All right. A no and rejection are two different things. A no can be a very positive thing if flipped on its head. All right. So we establish your average commission check is $10,000 and divide that by 20 because you should 20 every 20 contacts should equal one appointment. That's just the numbers. I don't make them up. You know, when you do a little bit of practice, you should get 1 out of 20. Okay.
No, I want to clarify something, guys. Contacts, not calls.
Yeah.
Contacts.
Contact. This is a two-way conversation about real estate with another human being. Okay. That's what I consider to be a contact. Someone hangs up on the phone on you, they ain't a contact, not a contact. If you say, are you with me, Debbie? Okay. So what if you're like 10 grand and you call me up and you're like, Aaron, we're talking buyer seller stuff. What do you work predominantly?
Both pretty 50-50.
50-50. Okay. Let's say it's a seller and you're like, you know what? I'm not looking to sell my house. Never call me again. And you're like, oh man. And you're like, no, thank you. Like, what the hell are you talking about? You just made me $500.
Okay.
Every no that you get, not rejection, big difference. I need you to understand this, Debbie. Okay.
I get it. Correlating it.
You get it? You know what I'm saying here? So the thing is,
$500 a no will get me that $10,000 commission check.
That's
exactly.
right.
Exactly.
As a bookkeeper too.
Okay. She's good then. She's good. So I want you to just change your mindset with that. And it makes the whole world different. And no, you're like, someone tells you go self. Awesome. Thank you. $500. Someone tells you get lost, go get hit, I don't know, do something bad. Hit by a bus. You're like, that's fine. Some guy told me the other day, I kid you not, he said, never call me again. I hope you okay. And I'm like, cool, thanks, $500. You know what I mean? It's like, they don't know me. They don't know me. They think about this for a second. The person on the other line, they could be having the worst day in the world. Okay. Someone could have passed in their family that could have lost their job. They could have just stubbed their toe on the coffee table. We don't know what we're dealing with. So we can't fault them because they never wanted to hear from us in the beginning. I hope that helps.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
That was awesome.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Run through a call for me.
Okay. All right. So who wants to call me? Who wants to role play with me? Anybody?
Bruce is up. Bruce is up.
All right.
Gotta come off mute.
I'm rolling two ways on this right now. Okay. So I go old school or I go new school, but I'll go old school with you guys. And I'll be like, Bruce, Aaron, ABC Realty, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right, Aaron. How about yourself, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for asking. Main Street, what happened?
Man, you tell me. You're a realtor. It didn't sell. I don't know why it didn't sell. We thought we had it priced right. It just didn't go down.
Got it. Now, if you were able to get that home sold in the next 30 days at your price, would that pose a problem for you?
You know what, Aaron? You are not the first person to ask me this question. I'll be perfectly honest with you. My phone has been blowing up for the past couple of days.
Sure.
I'd be stupid to say, no, I'm not interested, but obviously I am interested, or else, I'm just tired.
Sure. No, I totally understand. I mean, selling a house is frustrating. It didn't sell the first go around, but like you said, if I could get you your number in the next 30 days, would that pose a problem for you?
No, I guess it wouldn't.
Okay. That's the exact reason we need to get together, sit down and have a conversation, make that happen for you. What works better for your schedule, late morning, early afternoon, or Saturday?
Saturday would be best.
Fair enough. All right, he was very easy on me, but here's what
Yeah.
I'll say. And that's fine. But if we take the baseline of the script, okay, and there's a lot of people that are like, why do you say how you're doing? People are either for it or they're against it. There's no right or wrong. Here's the way that I look at it. If someone is going to be a jerk and they're going to hang up the phone on you, wouldn't you want to know ahead of time rather than try and beat them up afterwards? So the thing is, when you say, how are you doing today? Number one, I think it's respectful. So you get your, Aaron, I'm a realtor. How you doing today? Aaron, I'm a realtor. How you doing? Aaron, I'm a realtor. How you doing today? And then based upon how they respond to how are you, it's going to be mind blowing how many people say, I'm great. How are you? It's crazy when you do that, unless you're in New York. New York is whatever. You know, don't get me started with freaking New York. They're just not.
Unless
They
they're
say,
a Southern girl living in New York.
exactly. So you say, how you doing today?
New York.
Oh, Anthony. Oh man, we got some trouble over there now. But you say that, and people say, I'm great. How are you? Because I want to know if this is a decent human being that I'm speaking with. Because otherwise, next. And they say, how you doing today? Great. I got to ask Main Street, what happened? And no, it's just the way that you say it. What happened? They're going to tell you most of the time what happened. And then you say, well, if I could get your home sold in the next 30 days, would that pose a problem for you? At your price in the next 30 days, would that pose a problem for you? The reason I ask it that way is, Selena probably agree with me on this, is people like to say no. Like it makes them feel in control. All right. So, and we'll get into upswings, downswings, all that type of stuff as well. But they like to feel in control. So when you ask that question, what you're doing is you're allowing them to say no, which makes them feel in control, yet you're getting a yes. Does this make sense, everybody? Are you guys with me on this? Raise your hand if you're with me. Raise your hand if you're with me. Okay, Matt's not quite with us right now, but that's fine. All right. So would that pose a problem for you? That's a great line. And then would you be offended? That's another, like, there's so many good lines that you can kind of roll with this, because it's like I tell my 11-year-old, I'm like, Lucas, it's not what you say, it's what?
How you say it.
How you say it. What happened? When you say it that way, you're doing an upswing, which sounds inquisitive and moderately confused. Okay. Now, when you tell your kid to take out the trash, you're not going to say, Lucas, take out the trash. You're not going to say that. You're going to say, take out the trash. Okay. So, like I said, we could get more in depth with this stuff, but that's the baseline. Is Bruce, Aaron, ABC Realty, how you doing today? Great. What happened? If I could get your number in 30 days, would that pose a problem for you? It's about as simple of a breakdown as a script as I can give you guys. And then if we have the opportunity to get into motivation, we get into motivation, and there's many more ways to go with that. But I'm all for just like, get it done.
Hey guys, I'm going to take this opportunity for a second. If anybody wants to jump in and ask a question, these are interactive calls. So anybody have anything that they want to ask, say, dig into? Crystal, you having a tough day? You look like you're having a tough day. Go ahead, Anthony. Sorry.
Hey guys, yeah, Anthony from New York. We are not allowed to cold call here, but we can call FSBOs if we do have a bona fide buyer.
Yes.
So this goes for either expireds or FSBOs or just people I'm trying to follow up with. And I've recently had this problem where people are just like blowing me off. Oh, call me next week. Oh, call me in 2 weeks. Oh, call me next month. Oh, this and that happened. Oh, it's one excuse after the other. You pick one out of a hat, and it's just a constant blow off. Call me in a month. Call me 2 weeks. How do you handle that?
Okay. What's the motivation level? Anthony, unmute your mic for a second, brother.
Well, clearly they're blowing me off, so I guess they're not really as motivated.
Yeah, here's what I've been doing lately: is they'll say, "Call me back in 2 weeks." All right, and I've been. This is something that I've changed over the last month. Anthony, I got to tell you, I found it's a lot easier to get. This is a great line. Write this down. It's a lot easier to get off someone's schedule than get on their schedule. Let's go ahead and tentatively book something for a week from Tuesday, and I'll give you a shout the day or two before to confirm up that appointment. Does that sound fair?
That's good. Yeah.
It works really well. And then 50% of the time, and like I said, you have to have your expectations in check. Don't get upset if they cancel on you, because once you get on their calendar, you're on their calendar. Send them a Google invite, all that type of stuff.
Love that. Actually, I love that.
Yeah, I'm gonna start using that. That's a good idea.
Cool. $17 every time you use it, but we'll cut it down to 14 to be on the safe side.
You got it, no problem.
Done deal. I'll send you my address.
I'll give you 1,700 if I can close a freaking deal.
Done deal. Done deal. Done. Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, could you say that again?
Yeah,
It's a lot easier to get off someone's schedule.
It's a
than-
lot easier to get off someone's schedule than get on their schedule.
And you
let's-
said something right after that.
So
Yeah,
they,
let-
so, so they say to you, hey, you know, call me in 2 months, blah blah blah. My cat died, whatever. And you say, what do you say again?
Well, like if it's 2 months, I'm not going to do that. If it's
Well,
less than 3, I will usually do that. So what I'll say is I'll be like, it's a lot easier to get off someone's schedule than to get on their schedule. Let's go ahead, implied close. Okay, this is basic NLP stuff. Let's go ahead and get something on your schedule for that time. You know, for 3 weeks from now. What works better for your schedule? Late morning, early afternoon, or Saturday. So you turn that call back into an actual appointment.
It's good. I like
Bruce, you
Thank
got
you.
that? You're very welcome. Bruce, you got that? Sweet.
Got it.
Anybody else?
I've got some time so we can hang out.
Explaining what NLP is for anybody else. Go ahead, Mallory. Sorry.
Could you do exactly that, but with a FISBO?
Physicals are a different animal.
Yeah, I'm saying like, can you do a script though? With it?
Sure. Do you want to know what's working or what hasn't worked?
What's working?
Okay, good. I hope you. I've beta tested this a lot, by the way. Okay, because I hate for sale by owners. Mallory, keep your mic open. Keep your mic open. Okay, I hate them. They're so stupid. Sorry, this is being recorded. It's like, let's sell our house to 10% of the market and raise our price by 50. Don't get me started. Okay. All right. So what I found is predominantly for sale by owners are D's or C's. That's what I found predominantly, which means they're very get to the point quickly. Don't beat around the bush. Every 1 out of 10, you'll get an I or an S. All right. So what I'll do, I'll be like, Mallory, Aaron, ABC Realty, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Is it okay if I get right to the point and ask you a quick question?
Sure. I'm really busy right now.
Totally, Anna. So am I. If you don't sell the home, when would you be bringing in reinforcements?
What do you mean?
Help, additional help.
I'm pretty sure I will sell.
Okay.
Like, I'm not worried about that. I'll sell.
Oh, sure. No, I'm not worried about that either. But let's say that time does come. At what point do you think you'd be looking to bring in reinforcements?
I would say 90 days, 3 months.
Got it. Would you be offended if I stayed in touch over the next month to see how you're doing?
You can text. That's it.
Okay. Cool beans with me. I'll text you. I'll call you regardless. You're not going to remember me anyway. So, all right. So all that I did is when I'm talking to a for sale by owner, you got to call the day one, the first day they're on the market. Okay. First day they're on the market when you use that script, because what happens is I want to get an idea of motivation. All right. Because what they say, it's a great word. Because here's the thing, what we have to keep in mind when we're scripting nowadays, everybody is using very similar scripts. Everybody. So we need to use words and verbiage that are not the same as everybody else. Reinforcements, what the hell are you talking about? But it sounds good. I used it haphazardly one day, and my guys on my call like, what did you just say? Like, you said reinforce. That sounds really good. So the goal is them to say 2 weeks. Got it. So you would be consider interviewing in 2 weeks. Let's do this. I thought it's much easier to get off someone's schedule and get on their schedule. Let's book something for 2 weeks out. I'll firm up the day before and we'll go from there. It all blends together.
And your calling's always better than texting, correct?
No, texting is the easy way out. It's cheap. It's easy. And you're not, let me ask you a question, Mallory. Because texting, you text because you don't want to talk to somebody, right?
Right. I
If
have
you
a
get a-
million kids, so sometimes if I'm not in the office, it's challenging.
How many kids do you have?
4.
4. I got 3. So I feel you. After 2, it's like, what the hell's the difference at that point? So
Will do.
texting is the easy way out. But if some random person texted you, would you respond?
I do because I'm very OCD. Even if it's like I lost my kitten, I'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Have a good day."
That's because you're a nice, kind human being. Most people are not nice, kind human beings. So I would say the easiest way to sell someone something is phone to phone or belly to belly.
Okay.
That's it.
If only there was someone who'd said that before. If only.
If only my master coach Selena hadn't said it 15 million times.
If only.
I
No,
did knock on listen, I knocked on 39 doors this morning, so
I
did
love
do
it.
something good.
That's the same as a phone call. You know, I mean, that's the same
to
darn
belly.
thing. Yeah,
Belly to
belly or phone to phone. I don't like that. That's not my thing. I will never door knock. I'll never do it. Won't do it. You can't pay me to do it. But that's more, in my opinion, that's more courageous than picking up the phone.
Well, I will say it was a positive experience. I knocked on 39 doors first thing this morning. I got in 4,000 steps and I had about 12 conversations.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
And I would agree that I typically absolutely hate it. And I just told my team this morning, I said, we got to end huddle. It's going to rain. I got to go do it now, or I'm going to keep putting off and then I'm not going to do it. So.
How many people do you have on your team?
2 admin, 4 agents.
Are the agents calling?
No,
Okay.
they're about to.
How are they going to do it if the leader doesn't do it?
I'm trying to model.
Okay. All right.
No, there is no try.
No,
I am modeling how to do it for them.
No.
And every day I'm asking them how many calls they made, how many contacts came from that, and what the results were.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. And all I'm saying is with that is that when I had my team, I had a group of 3 other people that worked with me, and I was the example. I led by example. I picked it up and I did it. And if they didn't do it, there's a problem. And also when I did it is like, if you don't do this, you're not getting any leads. And this is a minimum standard to do, where it's you pick up the phone, you work this many. I don't care who you call. Expires shall by owner circle prospecting database. It makes no difference to me. You're just going to do it for 2 hours. So just like I said, keep that in mind. And if you could door knock, you could pick up the phone all day long.
Do anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
You one up to me. Okay.
Thank you.
You're
Talk
welcome.
to me about, like, sometimes you disarm people with some of the strangest things that you say, and like tell me, like, and I'm gonna laugh about it, and I want you to share about why you do it. I will never forget walking past your office and you being on the phone with a call, a random expired, it's probably an expired, and you were like, I love you. And I was like, what did he just say to this total stranger on the phone? Tell the group why you did that. Like,
well, I was probably bored, but all right. So it's called pattern interrupters with people, because what'll happen is they're expecting to say X and then you say Y. Okay, they're expecting to say Y and you say X, and then you got to make it fun too. It's like my group will have words of the day, and you have to use the word of the day in your conversation. It's just lead generation. I mean, doing it's a means to an end. It's boring as all get out. But you got to have ways to make it more fun. And like I said, Selena, if you're not doing that with your people that want to call, I would suggest setting up a group Zoom, because I started doing that in December haphazardly. It just kind of happened. I've got 7 to 15 people to come in every day and we lead generate together. It's fun. I look forward to it. We hold each other accountable. Like when I had my day and I almost broke my brand new monitor. I had 4 texts. You'll be okay. Walk it off. Take a break. I get back on. Everybody's like, how you doing? You doing all right? And it's like we built that camaraderie. And that's with anything, is building that camaraderie of people that support you regardless. They know every morning I'm there at 8:00 in the morning. There's guys over there that are more successful than me right now, but I'm show up every single day. And keep in mind, it's not about the results will come. When you do the activity, the results will follow. It's that simple. They just freaking have to. And I tell myself that every day, because you have to trust the process. You have to realize whatever your process is, when you do the activity, the results follow. The results may not be there. You continue the activity and they will come. So you have to just ingrain that in your brain that yes, I don't know. I'm just going off on a tangent there for a second. So yes.
Mallory asked, how do you lead gen with others and still hear on the phone? So what we've done.
Oh, sorry. I thought you asked a question.
In January, every Monday in January, we called it Monday Madness. And every Monday in January, we would spend the entire day calling. I am, like I put in the chat, I would rather handwrite 1,000 envelopes than make one phone call. Seriously, like it terrifies me. And I don't know what it was, but there is a psychological thing, and I'm not well versed in the human brain. I don't know what it was, but being on a Zoom with 5 or 6 other people, everybody's muted, but you see them making the phone calls, you see them doing it, and then you see the smiles on their faces, and you look at yourself when you're talking, and if you have a smile on your face, all of that stuff comes into play. And then everybody posts in the chat when they have something successful, and then it'll be like, okay, everybody mute. So or unmute. And when everybody gets off their call, they unmute, and you cheer and celebrate everybody for getting the listing appointment or doing whatever. And let me tell you, every time I did it, I made at least 30 phone calls, and I'm super anal because I'm updating my database as I'm making the phone calls and stuff because I don't want to forget. But it absolutely took a majority of the fear out of me calling because I had someone else there with me in case I fell.
Yeah, I mean, what I do is I basically disconnects to my computer, and then I've got my AirPods in the other ear, so I've got phone here, crew here, and it's just sitting there doing this by yourself is tedious and it's boring. You know, I'm not gonna lie, it's not. I mean, to sit there and get, and Debbie, to sit there by yourself and get told to go yourself for 2.5 hours is brutal. So I suggest, like I said, something, I don't know what you guys got going on over there, but this may be something you want to look into. Okay. Setting something up. It's just find your crew, find your tribe, find your people that are there to support you. You know what I mean? Like, either way. Bruce, did you have a question?
I have more of a statement. My problem is not talking to people while I'm doing this, the no calls, the no pickups or anything like that. I'd rather get a rejection than just going 2 hours, 3 hours and not talking to one person. But one person that does this, it's not a personal friend or like anything like that. He's young enough or whatever. He games while he calls. So he's gaming. He's literally gaming while he calls until he gets a contact. And I don't know how he separates the game from go time when he gets someone on the phone, but he passes the time with something that's enjoyable while he's making these dials. And obviously he has a dialer and it's doing its three-line thing, but he does something to occupy the time of nothingness, as I would call it, when you're making calls and not getting any contacts. That to me is the worst. Calling 100 calls and maybe getting 1 contact or 2 contacts out of those 100 calls.
Yeah. And it's just, I mean, I'll tell you what easily cures. You know what easily cures all the boredom? Anybody?
Money.
And here's the thing is that I can break it down to a point where you can work an hour a day and make $100,000. I know in California it doesn't get you too far. You know what I mean?
Not everybody here is in California.
All right. All I see is everybody in California.
And not everybody in California lives in $1 million homes.
Okay.
The average price point is $400,000.
Cool. All right. Beautiful. So here's the thing is just think about, let me break down some basic numbers for you guys. Okay. Is that if you were to call 1 hour a day, 5 days a week and make 4 contacts a day. All right. 4 contacts a day times 5 equals 20. All right. Out of 20 contacts, you should get 1 appointment. It's just the way that it should be. Skills up, get your skills up. You'll be fine. You'll do that shortly.
Fair enough.
You do that. Let's just say you work 40 weeks a year because you like to boat the other 12. All right. So you set 1 appointment a week. That's 40 appointments a year. 50% cancel. That's 20 appointments. Your conversion ratios are horrible and you convert 50%. That means you're at 10 listings taken per year. 10 listings taken per year. If you price them right, you should sell them all. Average commission, $10,000. That's $100,000 a year working 1 hour a day, 40 weeks out of the year. Imagine what happens when you double that, $200,000. You triple that, $300,000. This is not hard.
Just math.
Yeah.
Plus a listing gets you 4 or 5 other people.
I'm not even there. You know, I'm not even there.
Yeah.
Like I said, 1 hour a day, 1 contact every quarter hour, you should make $100,000 a year. It's that simple.
Yeah. It's just making the commitment to do it, guys.
Yep.
Like it really comes down to numbers. It's just that most people won't commit to making the calls.
Mm-hmm.
They would literally write 1,000 envelopes, Debbie. They would rather send a random email or a text, then pick up the phone. And the connection is made this way with our voices. Okay. They see that you're a real person. Most people think we're bots. They think we're bots now when we're texting and we're doing the emailing through the systems, right? Debbie looks like she has something to say.
That's the first thing I ask when I get a phone call. I'm like, are you a bot? Because they totally are so like robotic sounding. And a lot of times it's like, no, I'm a human. I'm like, okay, you need to humanize yourself because you sound like a bot. I get on them.
Guys,
May I ask a question?
yeah, go ahead.
Hey, sorry. Regarding expireds, do you call them as soon as they expired, or how far back do you go? And which, I guess, tranche of expires do you feel you get the most traction with? Recently expired, old expireds,
Great
1 year,
question.
6 months?
I don't know. No. So regardless, I started 8. I called the new ones. Honestly, the results have been horrible. It's just I'm not getting because everybody. So here's just a tip and a secret. If you're using data right now, whatever data source you're using, instead of starting like if you have 10 contacts to make, instead of starting contact number 1, start a contact number 3 in there, because that way the first 2 are going to be called by a bunch of people. The most success that I've had as of late is day 30 to 60 and day 60 to 120. When I say that's expired 30 to 60 days or 60 to 120, the appointment yesterday or for today, I got one today that was 60 to 120 list, and I have one for tomorrow at 30 to 60, and I have one on Monday that's a for sale by owner.
Yeah, don't be afraid to go back and get historical data.
It's easy. It's easier.
What about going further back, like before COVID, like 2019, 2018, and if they still didn't sell during COVID because they were probably terrified?
100%.
They've since refied and have a 1.25 interest rate.
Well, you gotta double check that too.
You got to call to find that out though, Bruce.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
They're
I'm
gonna
not
take a
saying
little
don't
more
call them.
research, but it may be a more solid, and you might get better conversion rates on those. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the interesting part is, and my buddy challenged me because I'm like, I don't call them from 2 to 30. He's like, look how many list. Okay. And what it is, it's cutting through the fat is the best way to put it. Like, what do I say? So like, I've been playing with it because it's like, there's no perfect system, but there's something you could say to a group of people that are going to be more, advantageous than not. So like today I was playing with I'm like, I can't even talk. My name's Aaron. I'm a realtor. I know I'm like the 101st agent to call you, yet I got a quick question. And they're like, what? I'm like, what happened? So there's a lot of ways to go. I just have seen the most success from 30 to 60 and 60 to 120 as of late.
I just threw Aaron's Facebook group page in there so that if you guys want to go in and join, Aaron, I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. It looks good to me. It looks good to me.
So he posts this accountability. Lots of people post accountability in there. You can often see his videos and things like that. Guys, at the end of the day, the reason that I wanted Aaron on here is because, look, he's telling you, he knows this isn't fun. It's not like he gets up every day and does a little jig every morning that he gets to make these kinds of calls. Okay. He's not doing the jig, but he knows it pays the bills. Okay. This is commitment. This is commitment to his craft every day. This is the way that he builds his business. Go ahead, Aaron. You want to say something?
Sorry. She knows me so well. There's very few lead generation sources that you can say, I want to sell $400,000 single family homes in Fresno, California. There's very few ways you could pick your price point. You can pick your market. All right. And but it comes down to it's practice, because what'll happen is if you're not doing this on a regular basis, you need to be practicing. The first 15 to 30 minutes of your morning should be practice. You need 5 role play partners. If you want to really commit and get this done, half of them are going to blow you off. It's just the way that it is. All right. A different one for every single day. And you got to go 15 to 20 minutes. That's it. And keep in mind, it's not a mastermind. It's not a brainstorm, whatever the heck you want to call it. You pick up the phone, you go, you give feedback. You pick up the phone, you go, you give feedback. So this way you're not practicing on your potential clients. So.
And I love what Debbie posted, because this is so true. And I've seen you do it, Aaron. get yourself ready in the morning. Pick a song, pick something that hypes you up, gets you going and like you are ready. Okay. Like whatever that is. Aaron, what's your current song?
Whatever by Godsmack. So no, here's a suggestion, and I've done this a lot in my life. Recently, who here is familiar with what an activation song is? Does anybody know what that is? Nobody. Okay. What happens is an activation song is something that you listen to that gets you from this to this. So the song Whatever by Godsmack, phenomenal song. I put that on 3 minutes before I start lead generating because that takes me from family to work. When I go take a shower, I put on Driving Rain by Miles Kennedy and Slash because that gets me in like, okay, we're slowly segueing out of the kids. All right. When the family time comes on, I put on another song because it just kind of clicks your brain off a little bit. So I suggest when you prospect, get an activation song.
I like it.
It's really a good idea.
I like it. Pick something like, guys, I don't know if we're gonna pretend I work out because I do not. But like if you did, like it's that song that you're like, okay, I'm gonna jump on the treadmill or I'm gonna get on the Peloton, and Mallory say nothing. My husband's using the Peloton, I do not use it. But the one that gets you going, like, right, you're like, all right, I'm in it, right? Same thing. Okay, you've got to like get your head into the game and you're like, I am jazzed up. If you are not doing this in front of a mirror, get a freaking mirror in front of your face where you know you're smiling and you're in it. And if you need a break, it's okay to take a break. Okay. Like Aaron had it happen the other day where he was like throwing things or whatever. Take the walk, do what you've got to do and come back to it. We all have those moments. We all have those moments. Don't get back on the phone with the next person if you're still in the moment. Take the break, listen to the song again if you have to, and then jump back into it. Okay. We all have them. It's all right. Just get back into it before you pick up the phone and try to call another person because ouch, that next person should not be the brunt of what the prior person did. Okay. Betty's got a question here. Hang on. Do you leave voicemails? Oh, we do not call DNC. Betty, we do not call DNC. Okay. No, but I'll let Aaron, you want to answer the first question on voicemail?
I don't leave a voicemail because no one ever calls me back.
Yeah.
It's just a wasted breath.
Betty's like, okay, we do not call, do not contact list. Okay. Only if you want to be.
If I leave a voicemail, because I'll leave a voicemail, but I don't check them myself, but I'll text them almost everything that I'm almost verbatim what I said in my voicemail.
Yeah. So any final questions before we wrap up today? Oh, Bruce says, yes, go.
What's up?
Yeah. Okay. So, is anyone afraid of this litigious thing going on with KW over these calls?
Please. Thanks.
Well, they're getting busted. They're getting dragged into court over all these FSBO calls, not FSBO, but expired calls. Someone's found some way to sue the crap out of them. It's obviously not through the courts yet, but they're being sued big time over expired calls.
Isn't that state specific though?
I think it may be in Texas. I don't know. It's in the back of my head every time I
because I don't think we
get
have
into this.
anything like that legally in California, but like you were saying earlier, Aaron, in New York, or I guess it was Anthony that said it, that you can't make cold calls.
Yeah, it's been like that for years. I mean, here's what I'll tell you is I'm not an attorney. I don't play an attorney on TV, nor do I. I have attorneys in the family. You just roll with it. You know what I mean? And like if stuff becomes something, you deal with it. Otherwise, you can't worry about what's going to happen that hasn't happened yet. So otherwise you get crazy like me.
Oh, here, as of the 13th, paid up to pay $40 million in cold calling settlement.
It's all because of Bold, man. No, I don't. Honestly, here's what I'll tell you, man, is I know nothing about that. So
yeah, I don't know anything about it either.
Yeah, just
I try not to let anything kind of invade my space.
Yeah, it's like I live in a little bubble. You know, I like my bubble. I don't read the news in my bubble.
And guys, I also want to state that it's not just FSBOs and expireds. We're talking circle prospecting with a lot of different
probate, divorce, foreclosure. You know, I call probate. I started doing that. There's so many opportunities out there where it's like you could just find your little niche and do it. You know, And it's not just about calling, and it's lead generation. That's it. It's figuring 2 to 4 hours a day that you can find something you're good at, that you just do. You don't have to be good at it. You just do on a regular basis to bring you in business, because we have passive and aggressive marketing. We have our aggressive marketing is making phone calls and calling people, or door knocking, or texting, or doing whatever you're going to do. And you have passive, which is waiting for leads to come along. And there's nothing wrong with passive, but it has to be teamed up with aggressive. Otherwise, you're not going to be in this business in 6 months, by the way stuff's going.
And guys, I'm going to stress, if you are not consistently closing at least 2 transactions a month right now, you need to be doing 2 to 3 hours of lead generation a day.
Mhm.
Because what else are you doing? I'm sorry, but like, you shouldn't be too busy to do those things.
I
Like
agree.
2 to 3 hours a day. 2 to
I-
3 hours a day. There's really no reason. Sherry, you have something to say? Oh, it looked like you-
Just a point for people to look at right now is NAR came out with a number, and I'm not going to try and pull it out of my tail end right now, but it's like 70% of the buyers who have bought in the last 3 years are very dissatisfied with their house. They settled because it was the only thing they could get. So if you're not reaching back into, it doesn't have to be expireds. Go back to everything that's sold and reach out to those buyers and see if they're good in their house or if it's time for them to move. Where normally,
And I'm going to finish up with this because I've got to wrap up to another call. Not just your buyers. If they were the buyers on your listings, chances are they're an orphan. We call them an orphan because their agent, chances are, never followed up with them either. Okay, so you have a lot of opportunity here, guys. There's a lot of opportunity. The key takeaway from today is make the commitment to make the calls, make the commitment to lead gen. I cannot stress enough how excited I was to see Aaron today. Like, I know we're like giving
Good stuff today.
I'll hopefully have him back on another time. If you have not joined his Facebook page, I would definitely do that because he always has incredible content. And if you're looking for a place to be accountable publicly, you could post your stuff on there too. Go out, watch him. Aaron, you've got a YouTube channel as well.
I do. That's some cool stuff there. Go friend me. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel. 7 Aaron Wittenstein. There's only me and another one in Indiana. And like I said, I don't know if you guys are like right here, and I know you only have a minute. I don't know if you guys are here regularly or what your deal is. I assume most you show up. Selena's a smart person. I'm not saying this to just, to kiss up here. I've known her for a very long time. You guys are very lucky to have the ability to work with her. I've been trying to get her to come work with me for years, and she never would come over. And now she's not moving to Florida, so I have no chance of getting it happen. But you guys are, she's very committed to helping you guys out. And just listen to what she says, because she's got a good heart and she's a good person. Okay.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you so much, guys. Hey, just a reminder, we do post all of these on our YouTube channel afterwards. You can go to empirebuilders.pro resources and you can see all underneath each one of our calls. It says you can look at our YouTube channel. I should have it up by the end of the day. So if anybody wants to go and look that up, you can do that. And everybody, see you later. Anybody who's joining me for the ramp call, jump on that link in 1 minute.
All right, guys, take care. Thank you.
Aaron, bye.
All right, guys, be well. Take care. Bye.
Selena.
Yep.
I need your link for your, is it on the resources tab for your 11 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I'll see you then. Bye.
Thank you.